viewers, we want to thank you for tuning in again. My name is Stephen Olanya. This is Men to Men Talk. First things first, we want to encourage you to put on masks, just like the way I'm having here, nicely, and always wash your hands. Hand sanitize if you don't have access to water and soap, and please follow the government's guide. Today, we will not be using the masks, but I also want to say you can, as I said, we're not advertising these people, but it's necessary to get good hand sanitizer. Today, we're not going to use the mask because of the colleagues we have. We are spaced nicely, but we always want to encourage you to use masks as much as possible. And so for clarity, we like to be free, but we wanted to make sure that you know that we emphasize government initiatives. I want to thank you again for tuning in. This is Gospel Assembly Church. We are talking about issues pertaining to men. We are tired of having these talks coming from our wives, our daughters, our mothers, and the society. We've already got tons and tons of things that have been heaped about men. So Men to Men Talk is here to see how we can look at how we can change a few things here and there, probably from our young generation, to make sure we get the best of men in the future to come. So today, we're going to be talking about quality of a good man. Who is a good man to you? And I want to start with the mothers out there, the fathers who are seeing their daughters growing up, and you say, you have to get a good man. You have to bring a good man to us. You should get a good husband. The question is, who are you considering a good man or a good husband in this particular case with your daughter? And so these are some of the things. And so we're going to be having two sessions. The first session we want to look at is how do society consider a good man to be in the different areas. You look at, generally the society. And so we'll look at that, we'll diagnose and see what we have on table. And then the next session, we'll look at how we think good men should be identified. And so we want to thank you again. Please don't forget, subscribe. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, Instagram. Please subscribe so that you can always be notified when we have this talk going on. And so thank you for those who have been following us up. We want to appreciate and want to encourage you. Please write those questions. Give us some of those areas that you think we could also discuss. And we'll be very, very grateful. So with me today, I have my colleague. Well, introduce yourself, sir.
How are you doing? I pray you are doing great. The Lord has been wonderful to us, to our nation. I remain Olowo Jeswan, to the religious people and colonial background. I'm Jerome Olowo Stowel. Thank you very much for being ardent subscribers and followers and listeners of our program. When we get the feedbacks, we'll get smiles on our face and we look younger. Don't you want us young?
Well, as always, my colleague, co-host, I really want to appreciate him. He has always been here. And usually we get guests and we want to always have different people. Now, today we want to have different kind of categories. Jerome is an architect. I am a teacher. And so we decided to bring an accountant, well-trimmed accountant. So, sir, you can introduce yourself and say hello to the audience.
Well, thank you, audience. It's wonderful to spend your time to listen to us, and I'm sure you are going to benefit.
Yeah.
My name is Joseph Wambi, and I wish you the very best.
Okay. All right. So, Joseph, thank you so much for joining us. We really want to appreciate the time you've taken. I know you've been watching us in one way, and you feel there's that value and a contribution that you bring on board, especially in this area. Particularly before we get there, I just wanted to mention something about Joseph being from the accounts perspective. I mean, I know money is this bit where, you know, the ladies want, I'm not saying all ladies anyway, but many of our sisters out there, or lovely girls, and those ready to marry. I mean, they talk a lot about wallets. Wallet. So we say, well, the wallet is not that leather thing or the what? Those concocted leather. It is not the issue, actually. What is inside the wallet is the most important thing. The ATMs and all that. Forget about the national ID. They don't care about that. But anyway, just to start off, I want to start off with Jerome. Tell me, what is this perspective the society have about men? Like good men. I mean, who do they say good men should be?
Growing up in more of a free-range society, I mean up-country villages, the very basic of life.
Yeah.
A good man always they first considered, if your daughter came to you and told you that I found a man that I would like to marry, and then they would ask, from which family?
Okay.
That's the first thing they will ask, which family? That means number one, family matters in who a good man would be. So
Yeah.
then most cases they say, have you asked the people around him? Who are his friends?
Yeah.
What is record? His record? Does he have a criminal record? The village, they're so much concerned about witchcraft.
Yeah.
Are they witches? Are they witches? And so on. So
Yeah.
those issues. Then three, they're looking at hardworking man. In other words, income.
Okay.
Yeah. Is a loving person? Is a caring person? Then most concern is, I think one of the reasons they ask the family is to find out whether they are wife batterers.
Oh, like they have a history.
They have a history of battering women. Yeah. So others like, okay, does he drink? But that all can sum up into character. So in that setup, those are the key things they look at as a good man.
Okay.
Because finally, with change of life, maybe you can ask for money. But when we're growing, money was least thing. Because once you can cultivate and have food, and then you have animals around, and so other riches was just an addition, but not mainly the specific thing. But those things, what family, character, whether they are witches or not, whether they batter women or not, whether they are drunkards or not, the friends, the kind of people you relate with, those what was considered as a good man.
I want to pick on the family name. It is something that in the African setting, it's a very strong thing.
Yes.
Whose son are you? Whose family name are you carrying? Somewhere, somehow, the name has a lot, all right? Maybe, Brother Joseph, you could pick up from there. Because when we hear, this is a family of so-and-so, which I have actually seen happen, even at workplaces. There are some offices where, when they get to know that you are from a particular family, it carries something. Just briefly, like family name, like where you come from, how does it relate to you being taken as a good man, for example?
Thank you very much. A name, from my background, is a very important thing. People who come from good backgrounds,
Yeah.
where parents have a repute in a community,
Yeah.
are normally ranked high.
Yeah.
Because families make their generations.
That's true. That's true.
And they know very well that parents train their children. So actually, if you're a witch, however much the child tries to
Keep
turn
away.
around and keep away from that, they will brand you still as a witch. Or they will look at you from the corner of their eyes.
Yes.
And at any moment, they are watching to see whether the other traits will come.
Wow.
So a name becomes very important, because you have seen like where I come from, Bali. My relatives, there's a name Wanda.
Okay.
Wanda was a chief.
Okay.
Now, being a chief, he had a lot of influence. And of course, normally they bring up children in a sort of they groom children in a good way.
Yeah.
So by you just having that tiger name, Wanda, you will be just given, you are
Yeah,
clear.
attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Without,
Yeah, I think then it comes down to us parents now, that we are parents who've got boys. We're particularly focusing at the men. We've got boys. We need to actually impart. So the question that we need to actually ask ourselves, are we living to the expectation of the society? Yeah. Do people look at me within my area of residence as a mentor, as somebody to refer to when they're teaching their children? Because they are silent observers within our society. You'll find in every setting where we live, we walk into our house, we walk out. The way we talk to the people around, whatever they hear over the fence that we are doing in our house, if you are always fighting with your wife, or you are having issues, people, there will always be this kind of thing. What does this man do? We don't understand what this man does. He just enters in, he changes cars, he does this, he doesn't greet people. All these are eyes that look at you. And they're the same people who brand the name, whether it qualifies to be a good name or not. So in this case, we, in a way, we are the sum total of what our parents have done.
Exactly. I agree with you on that.
So in this case, people who are married might find themselves now trying to you're trying to undo. You're trying to undo what has been instilled in this man, but you do not know how much has gone wrong based on what the society have done. So maybe you can pick up from there.
Yeah, it's very strong on parents, and this has got to do with parents doing and deliberately setting a good, I would call it pace.
Okay.
Like in a relay. Life is actually a relay. You give birth to your children, you give them as much as possible to run with. They also have children and get
the baton.
as much
You
as,
keep passing the baton.
called baton. Yeah, so that is how life is. And so we parents, we need to deliberately choose to give these children a good name. Unfortunately, comes to my mind now, most people, we are now parents, we are concentrating on creating wealth, material things.
For them.
For them. Now, that is somehow the society is looking at as a replacement for a name, which was coming at no cost, but this one comes at a cost.
True.
Now, that has endangered us, that we spend much time outside trying to get the material things that we should pass on to the children at the expense of time input in the life and the character of this child. So we begin to look at people in a way that in the perspective of what they possess, rather than what name and character they build, as that has been built over time. A name is priceless, because today I may have wealth and I lose it, but when I build a certain name in a community, it will last.
True.
Yeah, now, like my dad, if you mention, he has a code name. It was very interesting. I meet someone who grew up in a certain village, very far from my village. And when I mentioned my dad's code name, she was able to relate with the name and say, hey, when I was at school, boys used to talk about the children of this
name.
So it was about the name, not about the wealth we had or the poverty we had. It was about the name. So the name is quite important.
Wow. Joseph, just give us some other perspective about the society. I mean, how society take good men to be within your setting.
Well, many times people have tried to put up a picture, show when it comes to public, call it personal. It's like you would want to pretend to be a good man outside there,
Okay.
but back at home,
Oh,
you are a different thing altogether.
Talk about that.
Yes, like you said, this
So
neighbor-
in other words, it's like you have different faces. There's the face for the public and then the face at home.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
So it's like a good man is this guy who will be in the dark doing good things.
Wow.
He should be thinking about his neighbor in a good way.
Without, even if they're not seeing him.
Yes.
Okay.
So the public shouldn't so much influence his character. I'm talking about character. When it comes to public figure, can pretend around, but he has to have a character that really people relate
Defines
with.
him.
So in that way, people who hide behind masks, like I call myself good, I try to go into maybe some events just to impress people. You might not really be a good person.
Wow. Now, something that popped into my mind when we were talking about is really the society, because of commercializing almost everything. I mean, people see you driving a good car, and then ladies think, yeah, that is a good man. They look at what you own to qualify you as
As a good person.
a good man. I mean, this I see in the society. You know, when you follow some of the social media conversations, you get perturbed that I think the society, in a way, is promoting people to be wrong men. Because if you expect that good men should be the ones who drive good cars and shake, keys of those, exotic
German
cars,
European cars.
they should be good men. In other words, even the young people now start thinking, for me to qualify to fit into the choices of what women are going to fall for, I should actually aim at that. Which, in a way, I realize that we, the society, we should also intend to look for the men we look at from all perspectives as good. Not the finances, not the wealth they have accumulated, but it should be beyond, which actually I heard from both of you. It stems down to character.
True.
Now, character, you say it's priceless. Because the character, the way you've put it, it's actually the name. The name, the good name, comes because of the character. And in other words, so if the name is priceless, then character is priceless. So in that case, we, the society, we should also focus at identifying good men by praising and lifting what is worth
True.
a good man. Otherwise, if the ladies now believe in wallets as the qualification of a good man, think about it. Where are we going to be? Everyone will. I mean, no wonder we have men who would want to get money at all costs because you want to appear. Yeah. So just pick it up from there.
It's very interesting that being good should not be tagged to something temporal.
I just like that. Just repeat it, please.
Being a good person should not be tagged to something temporal, something that can fly away in a time.
And for example, just give us, because I love that line of thought.
No, I had a story to whereby this family were good. The man was very wealthy. And the woman was praising the man all over the village. And the day the man lost everything, he became a bad man.
So that now, the good name was tagged to the temporal element, which is the wealth. So now the bad man has come in because the wealth is gone.
Gone.
Wow.
But he's the same man.
Wow.
If you look at that man, you put him under the lens of character, family, or how he relates with people, it has not changed. But what has changed is he probably has lost his job.
Imagine.
So the society reduces a man to things to a makeup for example. A man's makeup is what? It's actually the wallet, right? I call them men's makeup.
Oh.
So that's why you like you've just said, when I can swing the key, I can carry the show.
Wow.
If I can associate myself with certain wealthy person and say, this is my uncle, this is what. At school we used to get that.
Yeah.
We get a strong name in the village or a wealthy family in the village. I say I'm related to those people. So wherever you go because of the wealth of that family, then you are rated as what? A wealthy person. But that should not be the issue. The determinant, because with or without that, you still should be a good person.
Wow.
And because this changes, because the Bible says wealth does not last forever, so there should be something more tangible. Ladies, look out for something more tangible. You too can actually make more wealth than, because the Bible further says, 2 heads are better than one.
Yeah.
When you come together and work together, you can build a better person in that man, rather than looking for accomplished
Well,
things.
I just love that. Well, viewers, we're going to have a very short break and then we'll come back. Please don't go away. Welcome back from that short break. Well, Jerome, you just mentioned as we were going to the break that it is not good to tag what we consider as a good man to a temporal, temporal things or element. And I am compelled to start thinking about what are some of the implications of what the society throws about the expectation of good men. What are some of these? Joseph, you could help me there. What, when you look at the society will throw and say, a good man should have money, a good man should have this. But what is the implication in this case to the good men that we have around?
Well, like you said, I think society has a lot to do with what a good person could be. Maybe basically a good person, from what I know, they looked at a person like if he's a family man, the one that can take care of his people, is responsible, can feed them, can pay their school fees. This guy who doesn't batter the wife, he's kind. And also I feel this man should be a kind of man who expresses himself. Yeah. If there's something wrong, he would directly talk to you rather than going around backbiting. Actually, men are not supposed to backbite.
Okay. Talk about
this
that.
It's the thing of ladies.
Okay.
Yeah. Ladies are excused, but for a man, for you to start backbiting and talking about this and whatever, I know it's culturally not right.
Okay.
So. The current situation, like we have been talking about, where men are looked at through this lens of wealth only, is not sufficient, especially the wallet and the cash. Actually, real wealth is not carried in the purse. Real money is not in the...
Actually.
It's not.
So you can't see the good men necessarily because, there are people who have the money and you will never see them flashing things around.
Exactly.
Go ahead, sir.
So it takes more than that. If this guy has been well groomed, I know he can even make money. That's why shouldn't care about how much somebody has. For the ladies who are going into marriage, you shouldn't look so much at what somebody has. Look at the character. What's the potential in this guy?
Yes.
Can he really make a man that we are expecting? That when you are in problems, when you get into problems as a wife, can he protect you? Can he stand there and protect you?
Wow.
When the world has turned around her and that sort of thing, can you be a solace to her? Can you protect her children? Yeah. Do you love her relatives? I think that will be more of somebody who is desired. That's why to those who are like Jerome said, when you are marrying, they're asking about what type of guy is this?
Yeah.
What background is he coming from?
Yeah, yeah.
Are they women butters? Or they are the kind of people that can make their daughters comfortable. I think that's more important. Actually, in marriage, I've realized normally parents care so much, reasonable parents, care so much about how their daughter will be treated than how much they will be given.
Yes.
So some of them are willing even to give you a daughter free.
Exactly.
But without even
How
paying
you gonna
great
treat
price.
them.
But as long as you have good character, you take a good care of that guy.
I love that last bit. We are looking at a situation where the perspectives that parents have about good men actually is about character.
Yeah.
But sometimes daughters out there, you actually want to shut down the expectations of your parents. But you want to look at what you think is worth. But the question is, do you sit down with your parent and say, what is the quality you're talking about? Who is this good man that you always say, I should bring home? You know? So parents, we need to move another step. But also, the ladies out there, you need to understand that as we're talking about here, the society has set us into a trend that we become liars. I will shake toilet keys to just make sure you think I have a car to win you. But that is the expectation of the society.
Yes.
But you turn around to blame the same me who has now pretended because I had only one route to your heart.
To your heart.
That
Exactly.
is a key. Whether it's a toilet key, whether it is for a store, whether it's for charcoal, something, you don't care. All you want to see is your expectation to be met.
True.
So society should also give us a curriculum that works to produce the good men. Jerome, I want you to talk about this. You know, there are parents out there. I mean, we're talking now from church. You know, they say, get a man who is born again. All right? And now we are looking at it that, okay, not everybody who is born again qualifies then to be a good man. That you know, even pastors out there. You will challenge me, but the fact still stands that we have seen marriages also coming. So just briefly share with us, hiding in the church because you've seen this beautiful, you know, choir, you know, they have those tight, well-shaped, you know, you call it what? Figure 8. Dancing in front of the church and you're like, yes, for me to really speaking in tongues, for me to get through, I need to do something.
Yes.
So give us some bit about the men also hiding in church.
Being born again in its original context is not about putting up a show in church
Thank you.
or going to church every Sunday, being the first to appear in the worship hall,
Yeah.
or even
Or giving a lot.
Yeah, or giving a lot actually. Whenever there's a program at church, you're
Whatever
the
your
one,
hand.
you're the first,
Yeah.
and you're announcing everything. That comes back to a put up.
You're borrowing a car
Yeah,
to
borrowing
appear in
it.
the church.
Yeah, it's the same similar way. But the being born again or a Christian was meant to translate into your character.
Yes.
The Bible says, or Paul said, you no longer need to write an epistle describing you. You are a living epistle.
That means it should be seen.
Yes, it should be seen, read of all men.
Wow.
In other words, I don't have to say, I'm born again. No, people will just look at you and say, you know what? This man has a certain
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
They will even come to you. Are you a pastor? Because every born again is taken as a pastor.
Especially when you live to the principles.
To the principles. They see certain things flowing in your life.
Yeah.
So, born again should come down to character. Now, if we just say born again, that can be made up. But
Which happens. It
Yes,
says, you know, a wolf in a sheep's skin.
yes.
It is biblical.
It's biblical.
Yeah.
And that expression has been used in the Bible. So, but if we look at a man who has the ways of God, now you're going into tangible things, things you can get hold of and run with.
Yeah.
If we're perfect beings,
Yeah.
and being born again meant you are now having the ways of God, the characters of God. The Bible says we become more like Christ, so
Yeah.
that you may conform
Yes.
to the image,
Yes.
the likeness, the way Christ looks at things. If born again was taken to that level, I would say look for a born again person.
Yeah.
But in my view, I would say look for someone who has been transformed. Now
That transformation is a strong word.
yes, and that's what sisters outside, their parents. When you're looking for born again man, look for the transformed one. Don't look for someone who goes to church, who gives the best, or who sings the best. Nowadays we have choreographed dances, and the boys who can dance to the girls' hearts.
Yeah.
Dance the girls away to their homes. So all those are taken to be as signs of being born again, but biblically it goes beyond that into the character of a person. Actually, it comes down to a name. It comes down to what you are. It comes down how you carry yourself in the dark. My brother Joseph here talked about putting up a show in public. Now, salvation or being born again has become a show. It's a lifestyle.
That's painful.
Yes.
It's painful.
Someone says, you're not born again? What's wrong with you? That is the
a
in
lifestyle.
thing now. Yeah.
It's the in
now
thing.
the in thing now. Where do you fellowship? Here, maybe Fenaro, or maybe Watoto, maybe Gospel Assembly Church, maybe where? Yeah, you go get there. But that does not necessarily make you a good man. Unless you're transformed, then tagging you born again doesn't help. It's like
I think when you talk about really the show aspect of our salvation to qualify us running into the hearts of these sisters of ours, then that brings us to even the same perception that many people have about born again, because it is a show.
True.
I mean, we have a lot. I mean, people out there will agree with me. Some people just feel like being born again is really not, or we don't even have the born again people, because there's a lot of show off. You know, we put on this different face for the purposes of achieving certain things. And so in this case, marriages that are geared at getting a good man because they're born again, I would want to say it needs time. You know, time proves character. You can pretend to be very good, but you can't pretend forever. You can't. There is a way you just lose it.
It's also said that we shall know them by their fruits.
Yes.
And you can't bear fruits in one day.
No,
Fruits come over
it needs time. You know, it needs time. You want to come in a way?
Yes, thank you very much. Is it true? Like normally, when people are marrying, who may not be so lucky,
Yeah.
taken up by this public show, at times they head for shocks of their lives.
True.
Because you find somebody will appear, let's say brother in the church, will appear to be good, will appear like he's that Christian, a disciple of Christ, so to say. When actually, like Jerome said, this person has not transformed. His heart has not been transformed.
Yeah.
He's just putting up a facade. That's why you find when people get married, that after some time, men normally don't want to look at their wives. Because wives actually become their mirror. You are naked before this lady.
Yeah.
So whenever she looks at you like this, you say, oh, she knows this, she knows the other, she knows the other. And you feel like she should not look at you. But like he said, Jerome said, we need people to be genuine.
Genuine.
That's
the word.
And let's put a value on things which last.
Yes.
Not necessarily temporary things that can satisfy our temporal needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you've just given me this thing. Sisters out there, I mean, we're still looking at the church perspective. I mean, a man who has just dropped into a church, I mean, why? All of a sudden, I mean, usually what we see in terms of the contribution, the appearance, you know, it kind of just kills. It kills the trying to find the good thing about this person that should actually be the basis to determine that this is a good man. It kills the whole thing. The man has come in, there is an offering, the offering basket has always, become heavier when it gets to them. The car they drive in, or, pretense, I don't know. These guys can train to be really good, Somebody can always attend all overnights and praise like crazy. But the issue is what is inside. And so people out there, if we're going to look for good men in the church, then let's seek for what is inside their heart. What is the intent for all that is happening? Who is this person? Give people time. Unfortunately, in the church, we have people who have taken the issue of marriage to a level we call desperate. Your age, list. Exactly, your age is fighting you. Whoever comes around you want to, fall in for it. Now, we don't want to be hard on what we say here, but we just want to help. There are good men out there, but they're not easy to come by because we have people who are actors. They are majority actors and few people who are real. And so for you to differentiate, don't be forced by the circumstances around you, your age. All my friends have got married. I just need to get somebody. It is not about checking boxes. It is just making sure that it works as expected of the society. And so really, the church has become one thing where, people, we're even failing the whole gospel of Jesus Christ. People are saying, this salvation thing is just a planned stuff.
Exactly.
Because we have many actors. We're still just focusing on men. We're not going to mention about issues that pertains to pastors. This is not about that. But it's about what has befallen of men. Jerome, probably you could look at another perspective. Or you can still, pick up something. I know you have something.
Yeah, exactly. My concern is, if we base our reason for marriage on temporal things, for example, what the celebrity world presents to us as a good man.
Yeah.
I've had a few. He should hold your hand in public. He should take you to a reasonable restaurant. Now social media is there. He should be posting you, putting you on his status that is a good man.
Yeah.
He should be having certain kind of fashion, probably body tights, fittings, and all these other things. But most of the time, whatever you see on TV, trending is not reality. It's stage managed.
I like that. I like that.
And that is what is driving everybody, especially in the generation of what? Of smart gadgets.
Yeah.
Internet. And so on. Did you see so? They were out at this place. Did you see so? It was mad. Did you see Rema's wedding? Now, then they put a standard to that. They say we have to be like that. The poor man cannot get a wife because he cannot afford Rema marriage. Rema standard. Now, social media, celebrity life is something that is staged. And it's not the real life. When you get down to reality, you're married, you cannot live that life
forever.
Reality comes, what do we have? Where do we want to go? How can we manage what we do? Now, life gets back to that. And that is now, those are more permanent things than one-off activities. And now, what are the dangers of basing your relationship
kind of thing,
or your quality of a good man on temporal things? Number one, I want us to understand what a man figure is, or how a man thinks.
Yes.
It is rightly said that a man is a hunter.
Yeah.
Now, when a hunter is chasing an animal, whether a thorn pricks him, that is not the matter.
No, the focus.
The focus is on the animal. Now,
and is only
looking at that. It doesn't matter whether his clothes fall while he's running. He will
would still
not first go back pick. He will first go after that. When he gets the animal and says, man, the thorn pricked me. I lost my cloth. A tree branch caught my cloth and got torn and all that. But that is later. Now, let's relate that to real life.
Yeah.
You've made a man think that to be a good man is to have money.
Yeah.
So he will spend all his energy, his life, chasing after money. Wow. You can tell what that means to other areas of life.
It dies out. It dies out, definitely.
It completely dies out. Now, a lady is a kind of person, I say, who needs time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even raising children needs time.
True.
Yeah.
You need to be home as a leader
Yeah.
to show how things are done or how things run. You don't have that. You be a man is not an isolated thing, personally. It's actually a community property.
Yeah.
You need to know how the community runs. That's
Yes.
why when you were submitting, you said if a man just comes in and disappears, goes in, however much,
Yeah, the question.
they will be in question.
Yes,
Why?
yes.
Because it's meant to relate with
To the
others.
society.
But if you make a man focus on money, all these things all die. That's why I've read certain statements that say, I rather be happy with a man who gives me time than one who gives me money. True ladies, at the beginning they say, I need to chase after money, eyes on
Yeah.
the ball.
But
It's
the
money.
reality when it dawns.
Yeah, when it dawns on them, that's
Then
why
it
you
comes
hear
back
of
to-
stories of chamber boys taking over.
Yeah.
Because a lady needs
time.
solace. Yeah, I heard of a story where someone bought for a girlfriend a very wonderful, I think, necklace or something. And then she loved it so much. So she goes swimming and puts it somewhere, and they steal it. So the first person she calls is the boyfriend. Have lost the wonderful gift you gave me. The boy just says, don't worry, we shall buy another one. She was hurt to the bone. She just
Whoa.
wanted to hear that, oh, sorry, I know you loved it so much, and all the things, don't worry. No, maybe buying another would have come later, but
Yeah.
the first thing could have been, feel the pain with
Yes.
her.
Yes.
Relate with her in a time of what? Downtime. Which, when a man is chasing, he's a single phase man.
Yeah.
Men is said by sociologists that they don't what? They can't multitask. Whereas ladies can multitask.
Multitask, yeah.
But a man, once he's chasing money, forget about the time, forget about all these other things. So that is in my view, the danger of making a man single-phased in terms of wealth.
Wow. Well, Jerome, that was well said, and I like the way you related all this kind of thing. Generally, what I see from what we've so far discussed is that the society has got a lot that actually contributes to who a good man is. And in that way, you realize that it still even translates to other areas.
Yes.
I mean, you just said people pursuing. When they're pursuing, that is what it is. And that is where we become, we do dubious things at our workplace to make sure that we make ends meet. The ends meeting is because you have an intention, which intention requires money. Where do I get the money from? You have to manipulate something at your workplace, accountancy and all those things to just make sure you get away. So really, we see that there's a big contribution that the society identifies good men from a very wrong perspective, which every other man is fighting to fit in the same box. So at the end of the day, we find ourselves going astray. And so we really have to be very careful. Now, this session, this first bit, we have looked at what the society looks at as a good man. I want to ask you, the viewers out here, that we're bringing this to a close, but we are going to the next part, which I am sure you don't want to miss. We really want to get to the advisory part of it,
Yes.
where we want to see, out of our own experiences, out of what we have seen out there, that we feel people out there should understand who good men are, from the very men. We can't pretend, but we know who we are. We know even what makes a good man. But we can do what you think we should do, and we live what we think would have been good for you. So that is the point we want to put across. So don't go away. We'll have another session. And as I say it always, please subscribe to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all these other social, YouTube. We're always there. And leave a comment, you know. We really appreciate you so much. We know we're not doing the very best, but the little that we can, if you can join us and always, you know, have this debate in your living room, we'll be very grateful. I want to end with still hand sanitizer, washing hands, making sure you use your masks, and please follow the government guides. COVID-19 is still in our society. The number is increasing. We want to thank God we haven't got any death, but still, let's be careful. Let's take care of our community. We don't spread what is dangerous. So thank you so much for watching. I want to appreciate my colleagues. We are going to be back. The same group will be in the next session. So please, see you, and God bless you.